Tuna steak, it's a tried and tested recipe. You want to sear it in a really hot skillet to form a beautifully caramelized crust on the outside, building flavors and minimizing the cooking on the inside so that it retains that wonderful sashimi-like taste. Today, I want to take the contrasting textures and flavors even further by using the offcuts of the tuna steak to make our own version of canned tuna, adding a lot more depth to the whole dish. Now, with a premium cut such as tuna, off-cut might be the wrong term as the price would probably indicate. What I realized is that the part of the tuna you want the least for your sashimi or for your tuna steak is the ones with a lot more connective tissues. They could be slightly chewy, even under the knife of an experienced sushi chef. But they are also exactly what you want to make canned tuna, because with heat and a longer cooking time, the connective tissue breaks down into gelatin, giving you this wonderful mouth coating sensation. So let's do it. All we need to do is we want to decide the shape of our tuna steak and we trim off the so-called offcut. Look at the connective tissues. These will be extremely chewy here. Get to shape it a tiny bit as well. Brilliant. And to go in with the tuna, we're gonna add a tiny bit of sun-blush tomato. These are really rich in umami, making the dish more savory. And for me, yellowfin tuna and tomato is always a marriage made in heaven. So, perfect. Now, we switch on the stove. The objective of the exercise here is simply to bring this to 54 degrees Celsius and keep it there for about 40 minutes. So, just like canned tuna, the good kind, very generous amount of extra virgin olive oil. And this will form our sauce / dressing for the whole dish. So you can afford to be a bit generous. Now, offcuts and sun-blush tomato, they go in. And we move them around simply to prevent sticking. So once this has been brought up to temperature, we switch off the stove. You can put it in the oven, in your steamer, however you like, as long as it stays around 54 degrees. While that's cooking away, we slice a tiny bit of red onion. Again, would balance the fat content of the tuna. That's perfect. Now, once our canned tuna is ready, we can sear and plate. I'll see you then. All right, we're T-5. So we sear our tuna steak. We season with salt, and very generously with black pepper, like a throwback to the 90s. And we heat up the stove. You want to cook this at high heat because all you want to do is to have the caramelization, the Maillard reaction on the outside and minimize the cooking on the inside. Now, once your pan is hot, we add a very generous amount of any neutral high smoke point oil. You don't want to use extra virgin olive oil for this because the heat would make it taste bitter. Now, tuna goes in, make sure you hear the sizzle and you lay it away from you. Now, we press gently with our fish spatula to maximize the tuna's contact with the very hot pan. That's it, no more than 20 seconds, we flip. Stove off, and we line our plate with some kitchen towel. We grab our tuna and we let it rest for about 5 minutes so that the outside muscle fiber would have some time to relax. While that's resting, we bring back our canned tuna. As you can see, that sinew we talked about earlier has now melted this jelly-looking line, which is the gelatin. Exactly what we wanted to achieve. We simply grab a fork and just like any canned tuna, we break it apart. Look at that, zero resistance. You taste and you adjust the seasoning. Remember, the sun-blush tomato, they're a bit salty already. And to that, while still warm, we add a very generous amount of capers. That would give us some contrasting textures and a bit more salinity. And we'll add some of the brine to the mix. Perfect. The sliced red onion always works well with tuna. Taste. Oh, that's perfect. Wow. Incredible. Really, really good. Wow. Brilliant. Now we can carve and plate. Grab our tuna. And once again, you look at the muscle fibers and just as you would a bavette steak, you carve against the fiber. Perfect doneness, rare in the middle, caramelized on the outside. Now, to plate this beauty, simply grab our canned tuna mix. And to that, we add beautiful tuna. And to finish, a generous drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. And just a bit of Michael coriander for a bit of freshness and color. And that's it, adding one extra layer to a tried and tested recipe. This is pan-seared tuna steak with canned tuna dressing. I really hope you enjoy.